Hello, I'm Sika, an executive coach and a corporate trainer. I'm passionate about helping people break their limiting beliefs, discover self, and align their purpose to whatever they want to do in life. The topic I spoke on was self-leadership. Now, we looked at leadership and we defined it from John Maxwell's definition of leadership, which talks about influence. And so leadership is simply being able to influence others' thoughts and behaviors in order to get them achieve a goal. And so self-leadership then is being able to influence your own self, your thoughts and your behavior in order to achieve the goals you want to achieve. To understand this even better, we looked at the mind and the operation of the mind. And we learned that the mind is made up of the conscious and the subconscious mind. The conscious mind is the one that observes, the one that analyzes, the one that thinks, and the one that accepts or rejects information that comes from our senses. So, example, if when you're crossing a road, for instance, it's your conscious mind that will look at the car coming and say it's coming at a certain speed, and as a result, you shouldn't cross. That work is being done by your conscious mind. So the subconscious mind simply receives what the conscious mind has put into it. It's like the hard drive. So it simply receives and gives back to you when you want it. Okay, so with time, what happens is when you see a car coming, immediately you move back because over years, your conscious mind has told your subconscious mind that when you see a car coming, it's dangerous, so move. So the subconscious mind just moves. Having understood this, then the question is then, what steps should you take to self-lead? And I talked about steps I have taken, which is helping me, because I believe that for me to be able to lead others, I must lead self. And so I looked at, usually what I do is I visualize. I use the wheel of life, which a lot of coaches use, in order to help people look at the totality of their life and the roles they play and rate themselves. So first of all, I visualize what I want to see with regards to the various components of the wheel of life, which looks at career and business, it looks at your health, it looks at relationships. So the 10 components of the wheel of life, I take a journal, and then I take each one and I visualize that in the next 2-3 years, how do I want to see myself in this area? If it has to do with my career, how do I want to see it? If it has to do with my health, how do I want to see myself? So I dream. Visualization is really dreaming, okay? And it's okay to dream. And I always say that it's anybody who does, even when an architect is going to build, he visualizes. When a carpenter is going to create a chair, he visualizes. So why don't I visualize about my own life and where I want it to go? So you start by visualizing. So after you visualize, you scale. So you look at each component and ask yourself, where am I now? So would I put myself at a 5? You scale between 1 to 10. 1 being you're not there at all. 10 being you've really achieved, okay? So I take each of the component areas and I scale. And I look at, for this one, where would I put myself? 5, 6, 7, or 8? So I scale each one. And after I have scaled, I go to the next step, which is to ask myself, what are the limitations? What is stopping me from getting to a 10? Okay, so I take each one again and I begin to think about solutions. So I look at what is stopping me, what are the limitations that are, or hindrances or challenges that are coming from me to make it difficult for me to achieve what I visualize, what is coming from others and what is coming from the system. So for instance, what could be coming from me could be procrastination. What could be coming from others could be the sort of people I relate with, or the pressures, societal pressures. What could be coming from the system could be policies and procedures. Okay, so for each one, I look at solutions. That's the next step. So I visualize, I scale, I look at the challenges, then I look at solutions for each one. Now, in effect, for instance, with the solution on procrastination, which may be coming from me, the solution could be that whenever I have a problem, within 2 days, I should have solved it. So with time, I would have fed into my subconscious mind 2 days. So my subconscious mind now begins to think of solutions begin to come. So basically what I'm doing is I'm training myself to look at solutions more than problems. Okay, so after I have looked at how I'm going to triumph over each one, then I look at what kind of a person should I become in order to be able to achieve that vision I'm seeing. So I look for 5 adjectives. It could be 3, it could be 4, it's up to you. So for me, I'm looking at unstoppable, meaning I will not allow anything to stop me. I'm looking at fearlessness, which means wherever I have to go, if I have to go, I'll go. I'm looking at focus. I'm looking at peaceful and joyful. So you look for adjectives that suit you, and you basically apply that. And finally, you break your limiting beliefs, and there are strategies for breaking limiting beliefs. So that's basically what I spoke on. Thank you very much.